Good evening, Night City. We begin tonight with, a look at the stock market, as usual. In the wake of another attack on Arasaka's Night City HQ, the Japanese Goliath has plummeted by 17%. And we should expect that slide to continue, say analysts. According to a statement from the NCPD, a terrorist cell is believed to be responsible. In light of these events, I have only one recommendation, my friends. Sell. Sell now, while you still can.
Hello. Allow myself to introduce myself. I am the handsome King Nerdy Bear. So, a video from Space JB, most brutal place, combat zone, origin of Dogtown, Phantom, Liberty, lore. This looks interesting. Let's go ahead and watch this together.
What it do, chums? Welcome to Space JB. I am your Dogtown ruling ex-military ballhead buff daddy host, Colonel Space Hansen, and thank y'all for clicking this video.
Colonel Space Hansen.
Pacifica, now known
like
as
the band
Dogtown,
Hansen?
is going to be the
Do-wop-a-doo-da-da-boo-wop.
for all of us cybernauts to explore come this September. And it is labeled as one of the most dangerous places in all of Night City. Walled off from the rest
September
of the world,
is here.
dare not speak its name like that Avada Kedavra weird wand-wielding madman has only made me and my band
Space
of
Marine?
Chumbas more curious as to what lies behind the
Cyberpunk
veil. And in
Supermarine?
this video, I will be your
there we go,
tour
Supermarine.
guide as we take a
Cyberpunk
dangerous trip
Supermarine.
into Dogtown, breaking down its history, the major players involved, and the lore surrounding this area. So without further ado, let's cook up those engines and let's take off. Home to the most diabolical criminals, desperate people looking to escape their skeletons, and with no law enforcement present, if you got a flat tire in this area, you might as well pull out that old 38, kiss the family goodbye as you embody your inner David. With Night City gangs taking over these areas, the combat zones were becoming increasingly dangerous. So dangerous, in fact, that NCPD couldn't even do their job. They were getting outmanned, outgunned, and were getting killed by the droves. If you found yourself in this area after dark, there is no telling what horrors you would witness as Dirty Mike and the boys came out of Dogtown for a good time.
We got a jar of oat mustard, we got a poodle, we're just gonna get in there, we're gonna put some D's in some A's. Hey, are you Dirty Mike and the boys?
Designating these areas as no-go
zones
because the NCPD was getting outmanned, outgunned, and damn sure was getting their ass kicked to the point where the NC government had to step in and throw in the towel. And basically said screw it and just threw the land to the gangs and the psychos that were willing to slam it on. What was considered livable housing one year could be complete rubble and destroyed land the next. Definitely not the place to whip out the grill and start cooking up kebabs for the next door neighbor. Though this place was practically ran by criminals, there was still a sort of hierarchy, and these criminals would divide up territories and control certain limited resources in these areas. Families and any other citizens unlucky enough to be stuck in this pit of violence either got dragged into the chaos or got zeroed out. The government placed these areas under threat level combat, which meant that if you were messing around in these zones and got flatlined, there would be no one coming to scrape
unsanitary
your
map
the street.
there.
There is said to be a way for you to possibly get in and out of the danger zone more than once, but knowing plenty of armed security teams have went missing in this area like the damn Bermuda Triangle, your boy Space says, I'm not going to put all my money on red, and I'll pass on that. Every so often, the corpo forces and NCPD would drop squads in for a bit of target
evens
practice,
and odds,
purging the streets
or
of as many
dozens.
gang members as possible, like some sort of population control for criminals. I imagine them using these drop-ins as ways to field test some new weapons or tactics on live targets. Sounds pretty jacked up, because it is. The Night City Council, which was made up of city managers that were from different areas and districts, which included members of the combat zone. With the council knowing that these gangs had complete control over certain resources and also not wanting their crimes to spill into other parts of the city affecting business, I feel that the council knew they only had a few options, and it basically was to
sit there and shut up.
So they practically worked out an agreement that said that they would ignore all of their criminal activity and not send police into their zones as it was too dangerous, as well as very expensive, as so long as they kept all of their activity strictly within their given area. The government did not want the crimes to cast a shadow on their political approval rating, basically being that step-parent that was too scared to do anything and didn't want to deal with those badass kids.
Hey! I know y'all not in that toilet. Y'all better not be in that toilet.
Pacifica was the area designed and suspected
Pacifica.
to attract only the
Is
wealthiest
Pacifica.
of tourists in waves of corpo business to a crime-free Night City coast. After the Fourth Corpo War and time of the Red, there were plenty of corporate fat cats starting to invest their hard-earned eddies into this project to get construction underway. There was one problem on the rise, though, and its name was Rosalind Myers. This former Militech CEO and ex-military current NUSA president wanted nothing more than to unite the remaining
A clone of
autonomous
Hillary
free
Clinton.
states under one federal rule,
Maybe.
saying that it was all to make the nation stronger. Myers is one tough figure, seen by some as possibly being corrupt with imperialistic dreams, and others think she is the perfect answer
City
to all
of
this crime.
Dreams.
Labeled as a prominent of peace and distinguished politician, this badass lady was definitely an eye for a life kind of president, showing no mercy to those who cross the NUSA, including the free states and anyone who opposed her unification program. Might as well get her a chrome helmet and really tiny bullets, because apparently this lady is worse than Peacemaker.
They call you Peacemaker.
I cherish peace with all my heart. I don't care how many men, women, and children I need to kill to get it.
I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that a few of these free states weren't too happy about this plan at all, and damn sure didn't want to be a part of the collective. But being backed by a Militech army, President Myers, aka Debo, felt it was cool to ask people what they got on her 40. As things escalated between the two sides, Pacifica investors started to fear an invasion from their southern neighbors who definitely wanted to borrow more than just a damn cup of sugar. When the fighting began, Myers made the first move, attacking and occupying a few free states. This is what kicked off the official war. Some states fought back while others just simply gave up. In one day during the Battle of Ridgecrest, almost 4,000 people were killed. As the fighting continued, only Texas, who did their own thing and never backed down, even closing their borders, and Northern Cali, trying to remain neutral, now realizing that it was only a matter of time before they were invaded by SoCal. This is the real reason Lucius Ryan hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more content. Investors and heavy-hitting corporations, seeing the writing on the wall, decided to take their money back and delta the hell out of Dodge, halting the project in its tracks. With Militech soldiers making it to the border of Night City, Lucius Ryan used his street cred with the council and pulled a major power play by getting on his knees ready to please, begging Arasaka to come back and protect their sweet buttery biscuits. Arasaka was already secretly funding the Free States' fight against the government, and seemingly was just waiting in the shadows for their chance to make a comeback like Jason Voorhees. The mega corporation showed up hours later with a super carrier and pushed back the NUSA forces. President Myers knew this was a very bad position to be in, with the fact that the NUSA did not have the funds to engage in this scale of a war with someone like Arasaka. No side really wanted to have a huge battle at that point, which is where the Arvin Accords came into place. This treaty ensured that the free states would cooperate with the NUSA, the federal government, and would stop fighting amongst themselves while remaining autonomous. No one side liked the peace treaty, yet compared to non-stop fighting, littering the streets with blood and chrome was considered the better choice. Both sides claimed they won, as the free states still felt that they had their freedom, and the NUSA claimed to be one step closer to sealing the unification deal. Out of this, Night City managed to become an international free city, seceding from both NorCal as well as the NUSA laws. As Solomon Reed said,
"Peace comes at a price. Someone's always got to pay."
This new position for Night City allowed an influx in corporate influence and also allowed Arasaka to reestablish their place and build a new American headquarters. Towards the end of the Unification War, when the Arvin Accords were being agreed on that allowed Night City to become free and stand on its own, there were soldiers still in wait near the Pacifica border that was waiting for the negotiations to be had. One of these groups of Militech soldiers were led by a man named Colonel Kurt Hansen. This beast of a man, given his stature, wasn't just some dumb brute with military-grade implants and a pistol, but was also a very intelligent strategist. Way to represent for those buff nerds out there, my guy.
I know, it's crazy.
Once a corporal lawyer, Kurt hasn't just seen the legal high life, but understands what it's like to be in the mud as a death dealer for the government. Helping invade and take over free states during the war, the man wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty and snap a few necks.
Okay.
When the war was coming to an
Okay.
end and talks of a peace treaty were circling, Kurt was not very pleased about the news, seeming to show his distaste for President Myers' decision to sign the accord, deciding he no longer wanted to serve
I'm
her
done.
cause and defected from the
Alright.
NUSA. With his new decision and no longer being bound by the government's leash, saw a strategic opportunity to take over the combat zone. He ignored all new orders for him to retreat
Flamingos.
from the area and instead decided to use his charisma, intellect, and militech tactics to dominate the most dangerous place in Night City, turning this lawless, unpoliced area
That
into
guy
what
with the
some see as a
flames.
paradise.
Do the
For
flames.
7 years, Kurt has been
Do the
working
flames.
transforming
Aw.
the combat zone into what we get to see in the trailers. And he didn't do this all on his own. Hansen had a few Militech allies from his squad that followed him and his plan. These players would come to be known as the Barghast Militia, which honestly is a pretty cool callback to the Witcher series. It is said that his
Oh.
militia is basically OP in comparison to the NCPD. With their military backgrounds and leader who is known for his strategic prowess, should be a hard force to compete with. With their logo being a dog and the Barghast being a mythical
What up,
dog-like
dog?
creature, it was only fitting for Kurt to rename his newly acclaimed land in the combat zone Dogtown. I understand that could be a reach, but damn it, I'm doing it.
Eh.
Over the years, his militia has grown to adding and training new members that run Dogtown with an iron augmented fist, getting their influence from big drug kingpins that were from South America. Might as well call him El Perro Blanco next time you see this man strutting his stuff. With Dogtown
I'll always
eventually
call him
getting
a
walled off,
cyberpunk
this seriously
supermarine.
limited their means of making eddies. This man and his incredible intellect would go
Hoorah.
on to create the black market for gun trades, high-end military grade
Yeah,
or
the
higher
flames,
cyberware,
yeah.
and with other criminal dealings like large-scale smuggling, was able to turn this crime-riddled slum into a very profitable business. In my opinion, there are two villain types that I think are the best. One being the villain that you love
Flamingos.
to hate, and the second one is that villain that you hate that you love. Kurt will probably
Snap
fall
like
into
Thanos?
that latter option. The man may even try to convince V to step over to the dark side, and if so, trust that your
Join
bro
the dark
Anakin
side.
Spacewalker here
Yeah,
is
Anakin.
damn sure going to see what it's like.
Before
as
he
long
was
as I'm
Lobbit.
able to
Oh,
keep
there he
most
is,
of my
yeah.
limbs. It is stated that because he was able to turn his black market into a hot commodity, the powers that be, aka the real leaders of Night City, left him in Dogtown alone, allowing Kurt to remain in power. Which for us means that there are still secrets upon secrets to be discovered, and who the hell is
If
really
secrets
pulling the
have
strings
secrets.
is yet to be seen. Or they have been in our sights all this time without us knowing.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Night Corp. Are these also the powers that really want President Myers to be out of the picture for some reason? Or is Kurt really the big bad dog on the yard
The
making
Night
all the
Corp
moves?
conspiracy.
I'm looking forward to finding out with you all come this September. And once again, I get to leave it up to you, my cybernetic tunes. Do y'all think Kurt is the real big bad, or is there a secret corporation really running the show behind the scenes? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget that when you have good friends or a support system that helps you through the toughest of times, make sure to thank them just for being in your life. And always show yourself some gratitude, spread as much positivity as you can. Until my next video, let's go ahead and end transmission. And I'm out. Peace.
So interesting enough, I reacted to a previous video from a previous Cyberpunk 2077 content creator about the 5 corpos you should never work for. And Night Corp was one of those top 5 to never work for. So I'll leave a link to that video. That was my previous reaction before this. Well, let me know what you think. Conspiracies of Night City. It's quite interesting. Can't wait for this to be released and live up to the lore. Well then, if you enjoyed my reaction, make sure you like the video, subscribe to me, ring that bell, or otherwise Gary Busey will appear out of nowhere in a meme. Until next time, same Handsome King content, same Nerdy Bear reactions. Oh yeah!
Corporals opened fire. Civilians were killed.
Yeah, that was kinda my fault.
Don't ask me how, but the second I heard, I knew you were involved.
Just wanted to talk to Hanako. Things went a little sideways from there.
Dealing with corpse? What did you expect?